Hey everyone, hopefully having no new assignment yesterday gave you an opportunity to catch up on all of our log work. We're going to continue on today with natural logs. And so basically, natural logs are if our base is e. So remember, e is a number. It's a number just like we had pi or we had I were numbers, and e is approximately 2.7. Okay, and so the way we incorporate it is if e is the base, okay, if e is the base, instead of writing, we don't write log base e, we write ln. Okay, and your calculator actually has an ln button on it, just like it has a log button. Okay, so natural logs you can do on your calculator. But again, just because you can do something on your calculator doesn't mean you should, because there's a lot of things you would need your calculator for, but there's a lot of things you can also do faster just by manipulating the numbers around. Okay, so we're going to start with the natural logs just with some conversions. So write each exponential equation in logarithmic form. So again, we would go, okay, log base e of 7.39 equals 2, because the answer to a log problem is the exponent, right? And so that's the 2, but we're not going to write it like that. Okay, so we're going to write ln for natural log 7.39 equals 2. Okay, so if we do that with the second one, e to the 5.3 equals 200.34. Again, the answer to a log problem is still the exponent, so that's going to be my answer. My base is e, so I'm going to write ln of 200.34 equals 5.3. Okay, and then we're going to convert back. So if you see ln, think like this first one. This means log base e of e equals 1. You got to be careful, because sometimes when you see the e in the problem, you forget that that's not, that the e that's in the problem there isn't the base. The base is already accounted for in the ln. So what does this mean? This means e to what power? Well, 1, right? Because the answer to a log problem is the exponent. E to the first equals e. Is that true? Yep. Okay. On the second one, I'm going to skip the writing the log base e part, but I know my base is e. My exponent is the answer, so my exponent is negative 1.39, and that should equal 1/4. So if you wanted to check that, you would go to your calculator, and your e to the x and your ln buttons are together. So you'd make sure you were at e to the x, and then you would plug in negative 1.39. And on mine, I get 0.24907, blah, 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 which is about 1/4. And why is it off? Rounding. Okay. We can evaluate with these. We can solve these problems, and I'm going to do kind of what I did before. I'm going to make it equal to x. You don't have to make it equal to x. It just gives me a placeholder when I'm working through it. It makes it just a little easier for me. Okay, and again, if it says ln, my base is e, my exponent is x from here, and what is that supposed to equal? E to the 4th. And so if you look at that, there's not really any solving to do, because you can just tell x is 4. I don't care if you write x is 4 in the answer, you can just write it as 4. Okay, my second one, again, my base is e. I know there's an e in the problem, but that's not the e I'm talking about. I'm talking about the e from the natural log. E to the x equals what? This part, 1 over e squared. Okay, so what is x? Well, first of all, it started out as a whole, ended up as a fraction, so I know that has to be negative, and my number is going to be 2. So again, you can write that as x equals negative 2, or you can just write it as negative 2, since technically there's not an x in the problem. Okay, And this is, whoops, sorry about that. E to what power gives me 1. And you guys know this because anything to the what power is 1, 0. Okay, and again, you can just write that as 0 or make a donut, maybe a bagel. Okay, combining into single logs. That is the same rules as what we had for the other logs. So, if you're subtracting, remember subtraction gives you division. Oops, minus log n equals log of m divided by n. That's not to be confused with secret of the universe, right? When you're combining, you write the word log once. If you're doing secret of the universe, you write the word log twice. So this is going to be ln of 30 over 2 or ln of 15. Now, depending on what we're doing, this says write as a single log. I can leave it here. If it wanted me to evaluate and get an answer, now I could plug that into my calculator and I could find out that that's about equal to 2.7. Okay, but this wants you to just write it as a single log, so we're going to leave it there. Okay, this one, remember that if you are if you're adding, that's the same as multiplying. Looks like up here I mixed logs and natural logs. Keep them the same. So this is going to be the natural log of 4 times 5. It's better if you put them in parentheses. So this is natural log of 20. And again, because the directions just say write as a single log, we're going to leave it there. You could calculate that. Okay, remember the number out in front goes up as the exponent. So this is really saying ln of 3 squared plus ln of 2. Oops, 2. Now what do? We turn this into a multiplication. 3 squared you can do. You know that 3 squared is, oh, except that's not a squared, it's a cubed. And I think that's your 4th favorite number. 3 cubed is 27 times 2. So we're going to say that's the natural log of 54. Okay. And on here, the 1/2. Remember that number in front becomes a power. I'm going to go off to the side a little so that I have some more room. So ln of 40 minus ln of 16 to the 1/2 power. What does 16 to the 1/2 power mean? Square root of 16. So this is really 4. And when I combine, subtraction combines as a division problem. And again, because I'm combining, I'm writing log 1 time. Gosh, shoot, why are you guys not in here with me? If you were in here with me, one of you would have said, Mrs. Valenti, don't be dumb. Didn't you mean to write ln? I mean, you would have done it totally nicely, but okay. And then this is going to give me ln 10. And we're going to leave it like that. Okay, so really, basically, this is doing the same thing as you did before, just now your base is E. So instead of writing log, you're going to write ln, and you're going to do the 16.1 practice part 2 worksheet that I'm going to attach, and you're going to do 1 through 18. Okay, have a great day, guys.